Suppose I want to sketch this polynomial. All right, so it really is the same thing as if I was wanted to write the equation. I'm given the equation now, I want to graph it. So that I have to go through exactly the same steps. I'm noticing the end behavior, so let's look at the end behavior. So imagine multiplying the leading terms out. Hey, I got a square, first power. So when I multiply this out, I have x times, again, another x here. And here, if I were to FOIL this, the leading term would be x squared. So, and if I were again to multiply all this out, eventually I would have to distribute this opposite of. So this is going to be leading term right here. It's going to be negative x to the fourth. Okay, so that's the leading term if I were to multiply all this out. If you're not sure how I'm doing this, or don't believe it, you can just multiply it out yourself and see that when you get done, this will be the leading term. Great. So now I'm going to find the zeros again and their multiplicity. So again, just by visual inspection, -1, enter -1 here, and that produces a 0. And this is a multiplicity of 1. I got enter a 4 here for x, 4 everywhere, really. But 4 minus 4 is 0, so no matter what I get the other ones, 0 times anything is 0. So 4 is another 0, and this also is the 1. Lastly, if I enter -5, the last one, -5 plus 5 is 0. But because this is being squared, this is a multiplicity 2. Great, now I have my zeros. I have my end behavior. I could also, I'm going to just do this, find my y-intercept at another point. So again, the y-intercept only occurs when f is a 0. So notice this is not a 0. Remember, what is a 0? The 0 again occurs when I enter a number and the answer is 0. So if I enter -1 here, this will become 0. Okay, but the y-intercept is different. I'm entering 0, but I'm not going to get 0. Maybe I will, but I don't have to. So if I enter 0 here, what would happen? If it did come out 0, then 0 is a 0, but I don't think it's not going to happen here because it would have shown up a minute ago. Okay, so I've got -1 here times -4, and here's 25. So 4 times, yep, -4, +4, 4 is 100. So this is way up there. F of 0 is 100. So the y-intercept is 0, 100. That's the y-intercept. That's all right. So now let's do a quick sketch. This doesn't have to be exact, remember. And I'm going to mark these. So this is 50, this is 100. So, and on this axis, I'm just going to go by ones. A 0 of -1, a 0 of -5, and finally this. All right. So now I'm ready. I see my end behavior here. It should be x to the fourth. So because it is even, remember, it is of this format. The -4 means it will be upside down. So I'm going to come here from -infinity. And now I've got to be careful of the multiplicity. This is 2. So that means when I come over here, I hit, and because it's 2, I have to bounce off like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep going down, 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 but eventually I'm going to have to turn this around. Let's say as I turn around right now. So again, this could most likely will go down a lot further before it turns around. And now it has to be heading up. This is of degree 1, so it's going to go right through. It will look very linear. And then it'll keep going up until it reaches 100, and maybe it'll hit 100 and just keep going up. But eventually it has to do something. It has to come back down to 4. So most likely this is, I mean, this pipe will go up way up there. And eventually, but I'm just trying to do a quick sketch. Eventually it turns back around and heads towards this other 0. Because it's a multiplicity 1, it has to go through that. So we'll just go boom. And that will be the end of it. Okay, because these zeros are so far apart, that means if you actually see this in decimals, it would just come up, hit, and then it would just disappear from the graph, from the picture. And then eventually you'll see it come back up, hit that, and just shoot up forever. And then it's what it seems forever, and then eventually come back down and to hit that 4 again. But there you go. There's a sketch of this polynomial.